Hello everyone and welcome to Java programming tutorial. In this video, I will talk about the instructions on your final game. So let me share my screen and let's get started. At this point, you are already have done like half of your course. I guess you're done or almost there at second Qs. So let's get started. This week, you have to submit your proposal. So for that, hopefully you're watching this video at that time, not after or just before submission of your final game. I will make sure that this video comes in your announcement as well. If not, otherwise it's at the top over here somewhere in your final game instructions. So this is your final game module, or I would say a page. There is a final game module and everything is posted on your final game. So your final game is actually due at the very second last, I would say second last week of your week of this quarter, just before your final exam week. During this week, you don't have any other homework. So there will be no Canvas assignment, no quiz, no discussions, and there are no Revel homework as well. You only have to stick to the final game. So the reason I'm asking for submit your proposal beforehand is I really want you to start working on it, start thinking about it, what your final game will look like. If you are coming from my Java 1 course, you have already done some graphics part of Java, which is creating your art project. So you are already familiar with what that graphics looks like of Java library, right? So at this point, like when you have to submit your final game, your course is done, your 143 is done. So at this point, you have all the knowledge you need to get started working on the game. So Java game can be done in many different ways. You have an open option. I know in the very start, I have in my, I think, installation of JDK and Eclipse video, I did mention that you need Eclipse Oxygen, but it's totally up to you. You can use Eclipse Oxygen if you're using the ACM library. So ACM jar is over here. So if you're using the ACM library, you need this acm.jar file. If you're not using, so it's not mandatory that your game will be with ACM. You have open option. Java has like open options. So your game is due on December 5th. So it's like second last week of your quarter. And you have, first thing you need to do is you have to take a look what you thinking at this point. When you're watching this video, it's like you have to submit the proposal. To submit the proposal, you need to make sure that are you capable, are you comfortable making this game? Don't just throw out the big things. You need to consult with your partners. So how to find your partner? You already know. You have to go in people, and in people, they at the top, in the top tab section, the top bar where you will see final game, click on that, and then you will see your partners. In some cases, you will have 3 people in one group. You may have 4 people in one group. You may have 2 people in one group, depending on the class size. Okay, so in this session, so if you have less students in your group, like if you're a group of 2, so you think you want to be a group of 3, please contact me, email me that you think that we need 1 more person in our group to work on this game. First talk to your partner. But if you are like, no, I don't want to work, I don't need more partners, we 2 are good, we can do it, like, because I know some students, they want a shorter group because it's easier communication part as well. So this is your final game. These are different resources. You can work with drawing panel. So if you're working with drawing panel.java, this is the class.java class you need. This is the 2 different PowerPoint slides I'm posting. Again, I'm repeating this, you have to pick one direction. Okay, so you need to pick, if you know Java, if you have watched a lot of YouTube tutorials on different games and you think you can do a combination of different resources, you're welcome to do it. But as long that's your code. So this is your point, creating something valuable out of this course, out of yourself, like just to evaluate yourself, what you have learned this far. So don't do copy and paste. If I found at this point for final game project, if there is any plagiarism, anything found online, there will be a 0 grade for the whole course, not just for the 0 for the final game, not just for this assignment, you will receive a 0, you will receive a 0 for the whole course. Doesn't matter, you do 100 out of 100 in your final exam. If you cheat in your final game, if your game is copy and pasted or found online, it will be a 0 for this course. Again, I'm repeating. So I'm repeating again and again. It's been verbally said, okay? So I don't want anything from the internet. I'm not looking for a fancy game. I'm looking for your game. So I'm looking for your game. I will show you some fancy games over here. These are from my past students. They created these games. So you can create any game, chasing game, you can space games, whatever, racing game, whatever idea you have in your mind, it's totally up to you. Maybe some of the game inspired you, like the snake game. Change the idea, change the graphics, change some rules if you want to. Maybe like my snake will eat the other snake, there will be two snakes fighting and competing, or something similar. Whatever you think, how far you can go in creating that game. There are many YouTube tutorials already there teaching you how to create a Flappy Bird, how to do, but after you're welcome to watch those tutorials, learn, and come up with something of your own. Try to change it, try to work on your own. And in the proposal section right now, at this point, what your submit your proposal discussion ask is, like, you just have to write your proposal. One of the partner can write, and make sure you're writing your partner name every time, so that we know that who's your partner, who's a team who have come up with this decision. So you have to just write 4 to 5 lines of your game description. Like maybe you're like, we are preparing a basketball game where there is 2 players competing with each other. There will be a scoring board. We will be working on something unique. You can say, I'm working on some space shooting game, and there will be some planets. There will be, the changes will be this. Or you can say, I am inspired by this snake game, which we have been playing since our childhood, and this is the modification I will be making into our snake game. So your game must be unique. You have to come up with something new of your own, as a team or as one person idea, anything. So you need to set up a meeting with your partner. Take a look who's your partner is. If you don't have a partner, if your partner don't respond by Wednesday, then you need to let me know or assign you a different group. So you need to connect with your group members, discuss what they are capable of. Maybe you are very smart in programming, or you have prior experience, but you need to contact your partners as well. Are they willing to go in that much depth of that coding? If yes, or if no, then you need to make sure that you give them the lighter part of the coding, and then you are in charge of doing the harder part. Because if your partner is not comfortable, you cannot pressure your partner to do something which he cannot do it. So you need to make sure your partner and you are on the same page for this game. So these are some examples. If you're not able to see these pictures, you can see it right now. Like these are just examples, okay? So you don't have to copy it. You can have all the graphics you need. These are the description. Read the descriptions very carefully. I will be evaluating you according to the rubric, but if something goes really off, which is not available on the rubric, that will be also, points will be deducted. Requirements, your program should use animation and event handling. Your program should use arrays. Be prepared to share your work. Okay, so this is the assignment for, at this point, you have been doing group projects. I was the only one who was watching your group project, but this is like a class presentation. So there are 2 submissions. One submission is your zip file of all the images, all the source folder, whatever the files, because you will be creating multiple files, right? At this point, like, you must know that you are creating multiple files. So you need to export your project from Eclipse, and then you will submit a zip file on Canvas where it says final game. I will show you, and then I will add it over here. You will see submit here, and then you have to submit. After submitting your code, this is where your code goes. But the other thing over here, you need a video presentation, just like you have been doing with your group presentation. You both of your partner, or 3 members of your partner, 4 members, all members must be present in the presentation. And then you will go over your coding styles, how you came up with, whatever the flowchart you have used, whatever the object diagrams you have used, and then you will run your code, run your game, and play your game, because that game will be seen by everyone in this discussion. So you have to submit your final game presentation here. Read the description very carefully. All the students have to, they don't have to post, but they have to comment. So one of the person from every group will post their video. So make sure your video is viewable over here and to every student, and make it, just don't limit or restrict your video, because this will be a presentation which will be shared with every student, so that your class can see what other students have done, what you have made. So it's like a demo, what you have done. Make sure your video is, again, 4 minutes long, not more than 4 minutes. You have to be quick. Try to practice beforehand, before your presentation, to try to divide your part, what part the other student will say. Don't try to waste the time in and like something like this, or taking a gap, or deciding who's going to go first, who's going to go next. Make a good presentation out of it, just like giving a presentation in a class you will give full of students. Do it like that way. Make it like 4 to 5 minutes if you're going in depth of your coding or explaining or playing the game. Make sure and the rest of the student, every student, to get the points, you have to post at least to 2 other games, or the students. You have to encourage each other, value their, read the description, everything is posted, like what you have to do. And you have to like the 2 best games as well. So 2 best games, vote with just have to do voting. It's just for the fun part. Okay, and what else about? So it's the module. You can go in the module. In the module, it will be at the bottom over here. Scroll all the way down and you will see final game module. There's a full module over there. So if you are looking for, this is your final game module. Oops. Which is due December 5th. This is the PowerPoint slide you can use. Otherwise, you can find the PowerPoint slide on your homepage, which will be published. And then this is your final game assignment. This is where you will submit your zip file and submit your presentation here. So your presentation link, hopefully that's the link. It will be quick. Otherwise, if you try to upload directly on Canvas, it will take a while depending on your internet connection. So find your partner for this activity. Right now, you just have to submit your proposal. And this is your final game. Homepage will be before December 5th. You can do with ACM jar. You can do with a drawing panel. I'll stop the share and I will share my screen for the Eclipse. Hopefully I can, my Eclipse is open. I'm just showing you a little bit description. So with the drawing panel, at this point, you must know when you are downloading the drawing panel class, maybe it asks you to, like it says drawing panel 1, drawing panel 2, make sure that at this point you must know that because this is like the second last week of your quarter and this is the chapter 1 of this course. So you must know that class name must be similar to whatever the name appears over here. So you may get errors if your drawing panel class name is different. And if you have an error on your drawing panel class somewhere over here, it's a red cross or a red cross over here, it won't work. So you will get an error. So you need to make sure the name is same, drawing panel is same, drawing panel over here is same. So if you're saying some name like -1, -2, it may be with the download part or the file name is incorrect. You can fix it. Make sure D is capital, P is capital, there is no space. The spelling is same as whatever is mentioned over here. What you have to do is how you will import, nothing, no much serious science over here. You just need to, you can create a new class just like you do in Java, and you can create a class named drawing panel, similar like this. And then what you can do is copy and paste the code here. That's one way. The second way is you can go in your search menu and then look for your projects, whatever the project you're looking. So right now my project name is recursion. I will open this folder. I will open my SRC folder and I will copy and paste the file downloaded by from the Canvas provided by your instructor. So you can paste it here. So just make sure, again, name must be same as over here. I don't want to receive this kind of emails that this is an error, and if the error belongs like with the name mistake, which is from chapter 1, this will be really disappointing for me as well. Like my students are asking this question. So name, this is like chapter 1 of your of this quarter. That drawing pen, the class name must be same. It's like chapter 1 of Java 1. Yes, Java 1, that your class name must be same as your file name over here, which is you cannot change the class name. So you just need to make sure, and no changes in this drawing panel class. This is provided by the authors of the book, Stuart Ridges and Marty Stepp, and they have a book. So this class is provided by them. So don't make any changes. You only have to make sure that if my hangman.java, whatever the final game I'm creating, must be in the same SRC folder, must be in the same recursion folder, not a recursion, like my whatever the project is. So they must be in the same folder to run. So if my hangman, so I will be creating an object of my drawing panel. And how to use this drawing panel class, it's already mentioned. It is a PowerPoint slide provided. Copy and paste the code. These are like the sample coding of one of my student. It's just a sample code. You can just create shapes, and then what you have to do is you have to read the PowerPoint slides to apply action listener. Actually, the action listener are doing major tasks in your game. They will be moving your objects, and they will be acting on your, I would say, I was just sharing my screen. Where is my screen? I think this is one. Okay, so these are the PowerPoint slides. Okay, so this is one way of Java programming. This is graphical user interface, GUI, where you can use the Swing library, AWT library, where you can follow the instructions, creating dialog boxes. So there are like, the slides are pretty cool, though they are like 100 or something, but they are not, as you can see, they are more like graphics, taking size of the pictures. So you can just, if you can see my screen, because sometimes it's really hard when you are done with the recording, then you realize that the other screen was being shared. So on screen, these are the elements. You can create frames, and then if you scroll down all the way, like these are the good features to learn. But if you scroll down, they will tell you how you can use the action listener, how you can change the colors, how you can change the fonts, how many fonts you have, and then these are the important part, the action event, button clicks, check boxes, menu clicks, how user will react on your click from the mouse, because when you play games, you need the keys and the mouse, depending on your game. What are you using? What are you displaying? So these are the layout. These are usually for softwares. I highly recommend going over these PowerPoint slides and creating your own side projects in summer or in your free time. Management software, something like this, like which requires button, menu, similar like this, like hospitals or cafeterias and like college or library, something. Whatever the idea come up with, that's going to be your side projects if you want. But for this, you have to come up with a game. And if you go all the way down, you can give a menu for the game. You can display messages, which you can learn, like user is not playing right or doing something wrong. You can create your questionnaires. Like these are all the options you have. If you go all the way down, it will show you how to create the images, how you can import the images, how you can create shapes. So because for game, you need some shapes, and then those shapes like for rocket shape, or maybe you can use images to move around, and you just need to learn. And you can use images from Google. You don't need that much of, things. So add drawing panel where you can draw. This is, and then you can draw a circle, oval, and then make them move, bounce, bouncy game, catching the buckets, or trying to make it unique. Come up with the idea, what you will be doing, just put them or post them in your submit your proposal. Make sure you consult with your group members that what you will be doing. This is with the Swing and AWT. This 3G PowerPoint slides are with drawing panel. They have instructions how you can work with the drawing panel. This is acm.jar file. For acm.jar, I won't recommend, because it only works on some of the computers, like it only not the computers, some of the Eclipse version. It only works on Eclipse Mars and Eclipse Oxygen. The older versions of students with Apple computers or Mac, they won't be able to work with you on ACM library or ACM jar, because Mac and Apple don't allow is the older version to download of Eclipse. And even they give a hard time to some students with the Windows operating system as well. So avoid ACM, but if you feel like you know more knowledge about ACM, you can again download this acm.jar. And again, acm.jar, there are instructions you need to follow. There are like online videos which you need to follow how to import the acm.jar. acm.jar is different than drawing panel. Just like copy and pasting, there is a proper procedure to install acm.jar on your reference library in Eclipse. So that's it. Come up with your idea. You can select a background and you can make your objects move around. Whatever the game you are working on, again, you can have a glimpse of what the past games looks like. As you can see, these are usually moving games, and you can have a scoring board. and your game must ask user, do you want to play again? And it should connect with the loop. And if users say yes, it should restart the game. So just post for submit this proposal, and then this is what your description looks like, your game. Post your game here with a zip folder, because with this game, it's not one Java file. There will be multiple Java files, and there will be some images as well. Some might depend what game you're working on and how you're doing it. And then this is where you will be posting your game presentation. That's it for this video. Hopefully it answered most of your questions. If you do have any other questions, do let me know, or you can post in the class discussion forum, and all of you are welcome to answer each other on this, any question you have. Thank you. Best of luck for your game. Bye-bye.